reality of water is it's a huge issue. It impacts everybody in this room, and I would argue everybody in the world. It's one of the most precious resources that doesn't get talked about very much, quite honestly, considering how important it is to all of us. It's going to take everybody.
In many parts of the world, there is already a crisis. I mean, aquifers are being depleted and rivers are running dry, and you have effects on society, on ecosystems, and so on.
India has 18% of the world's population. Alas, it has only 4% of the world's water resources.
The problem in India is that it is contaminated with fluorine. So we clean about 9 billion liters of water, but it's a drop in the ocean. We're always going to run short of clean water.
Agriculture today uses about 70% of the fresh water in the world, and by somewhere around 2050, we need to double the food supply. So for sure, we don't get to double the water, so we have to find more efficient and effective ways to use water.
Israel should actually be among the most water-stressed basket case countries in the world vis-a-vis water. Tenfold increase in population, which is among the fastest rising rate in the world, and 60% of the country is desert and the rest of the country is semi-arid. Absolutely remarkably, Israel is now an exporter of water to the Palestinians in both the West Bank and Gaza, uninterrupted, by the way, even in times of crisis and conflict. With that in mind, we don't have much time to waste. So it could be a very good outcome, like Israel. It could be a very dire and frightening outcome as well.
The challenge, I think, is that the nature of the crisis and the consequences of the crisis are not fully understood by the decision makers.
First, there is no doubt that governments need to spend far more on R&D than they have been doing currently.
Water has been sort of the government's responsibility. That's been the paradigm, sort of, and that is changing now.
I think one of the challenges is from a corporate standpoint is how do you get a return? How do you get a return on investing in water utilization and water improvement? And water is considered a public good.
In Israel, every single part that touches water, from exploration to desalination plants to everything there is all paid for under the price that you pay for your water. That is what has affected consumption patterns. The real value is that the innovators, the entrepreneurs, suddenly see an opportunity to start inventing. That's why Israel is a water cluster now. There are over 300 Israeli water technology companies, 200 of them sprung up in about the last 12 or 15 years.
We, regardless of where we are in the world, oftentimes seem to take for granted that there's water and that there's fresh water and that we don't need to do anything.
Working together is the way to do it, I think.
We have to work with the government. For foundations, this is not so easy.
There is also a bit of traditional distrust between the various actors.
What I typically see is I see people on both sides of the issue standing on the mountaintop yelling at each other. I don't see many rooms full of people sitting down together saying, okay, how are we going to sit down and collaboratively work on this together?
What Israel did from its very beginnings was it made water an existential issue to the future, destiny, and social harmony of the society. That's the mindset we need. Once it becomes an existential issue, it will unlock the creativity and the dynamism that has been found in Israel that brings the parties together, government and academia and industry and citizenry all together, which we don't have in most of the rest of the world.